So what's up everyone, Frank Valkyria, welcome to the channel. Today let's go numbers. Let's go numbers because it's important. It's important to realize that we're going through a phase of sharp increase. And when I look at those numbers, I mean, I honestly haven't looked at the numbers for a while because I just was too much absorbed into it, and it just affected also my daily life in terms of empathy, because every time I see more deaths, I'm just like, come on. And now what I see is that the numbers are just, it's just too much. It's just too much. It's like, what is it, like 20% of the old cases, of the cold cases? It's just crazy. I'm super grateful that 200,000 people have recovered, but then you have like almost like 660,000 people in mild condition and 35,000 plus in serious or critical. And it seems like every country is going through a peak. Every country, like even a small country like the Netherlands, is like at the 12th, 13th spot here on this list. I don't even understand it. There's already like 1,000 people dead here as well. It's absolutely crazy. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to spread misinformation or fear-mongering. I'm just trying to metabolize this myself. And personally, from what I read, I have a little bit of sense that all those cases are probably just a fraction. Well, not a fraction, but maybe it can be 5 times or 10 times or 20 times more already, all the affected people that we don't know of because they don't get tested, and also maybe they don't have symptoms or very little symptoms they don't know of. So this, to me, it seems like the only explanation to justify such a high mortality rate for the moment that some countries like Italy have compared to Germany, and then compared to Japan. Japan, to me, is still a mystery in this list. A country with more than 140 million people or something, it's managing to just, you know, either it's because of the numbers, 2,300, like that they give officially, but I also believe that Japan, they're not, you know, like China, where they sort of fiddle with the numbers. And in fact, I don't know, probably you have seen on the internet and Instagram videos circulating from Wuhan of people showing like body bags, which, or like funerary homes where they have many more cases and coffins that they are sort of declaring, pointing to the fact that the numbers probably are way higher of people that have deceased in China and in Wuhan alone. So I don't want to speculate on that, but it's quite plausible because we know the nature of Chinese politics and the way they manage the media and the numbers. So I wouldn't be very surprised, to be fair. And in fact, you see the difference with a populated country like the US, which they're doing more massive testing right now, and in the numbers they're just skyrocketing. And in Italy as well, they're doing a ton of tests every day. Spain is going, everyone seems like it's heading for the 100,000 mark, and this is the type of top 10 you don't want to see in a competition, so to speak. It's really strange. When I was watching the numbers that we were still at 90,000, all of a sudden now we are tenfold, and every country is sharply increasing. So I have a sense that perhaps if the news, if the thing that those numbers are probably 10, 20-fold more of infected people, which they're not aware of it, and they have truly mild cases, perhaps justifies also the mortality rate that then decreases because there's way more people infected. And that could also signify that perhaps we are at a point where we might be closer to you know, like the peak of the curve. But then you also hear the people, when is this peak? Is this peak at 1 million or 10 million or 100 million? So this is also unprecedented in the way it's spreading. But when you see also, like for instance, the swine flu, this is really, you know, we forget. And also because in 2009, you know, I was growing my business, and here we didn't seem to be affected at all. So it didn't come into that awareness so dramatically as it is today, that we're basically either self-quarantining or you quarantine somewhere in your country. And this is obviously unprecedented. Look at this, the number 2009 declared a pandemic. Only in the US, 61 million people affected, 12,469,000 dead, and 575,400 dead everywhere. This is more than 500,000. It's absolutely crazy to see those numbers. I was not even aware of that. And then you go imagine that this could go in the same direction or worse. But apart from the numbers, I also want to talk for a moment of our responsibilities. I don't want to politicize going vegan or vegetarian, but now it really seems the moment, like when you look at those numbers, when you look at what it's happening, maybe this is the moment where we should look in the mirror, and when this is past, to truly take responsibilities in the way we use nature, in the way we do all that we do, that we got accustomed and we were perhaps a little bit too greedy and careless because of our immediate needs to satisfy our palate, and all of that. And when things go back to normal, perhaps we have to start to behave a little bit different. I'm telling you, like, first, foremost myself, I'm vegetarian, vegan for probably 17 years. But I also have a business. So sometimes I sell animal product like cheese and so on like that, because you have to make a living in this society. It's really a strange balance to keep like being always fair and being sort of ethically fair towards everything, because each one is trying to survive here. But then again, when we see this, and also how is affecting economy now, because we also have to foresee that if this thing goes on for 3 months or 6, and this, I'm not saying this, those are country leaders saying this, we might go through a period of recession that it's going to be a little bit like, it's going to be tough. We're going back, if this thing doesn't pass quickly, that society can go back to the way we're used to in terms of services and buying and selling and using restaurants and using all kinds of other services and let the economy running. We're going through a phase of shifting that it's unprecedented. And I'm also personally, as a business owner, preparing psychologically after so many years of hard work. You see your reality basically collapsing under your feet. So you have to readjust. And of course, we are all in this together. So many of us both rely on work and on their own small businesses or bigger businesses. But this truly, everybody is affected. I mean, I've seen like cruise liners company. Basically the stocks went down like what, 70%, 76%, like so many stocks just collapsing in that way. That's like a lot of money lost in economy. It's unprecedented. So we might go back to something that right now it's not very clear how it's going to take shape, and it's in this moment where we have to find out how good we can be, first of all with each other, and how good our politicians are at fixing those things and preparing perhaps society for a new phase. Because this is, if it goes quicker, I suspect all the power in place will try to keep the world as it was. You go through a recession, you print more money, whatever, you try to keep it as it was, because there's a lot of powers at play and nobody wants to give in that kind of position of privilege. So if it gets faster to the point of receding the line and like curving the curve, whatever, we might go back to more or less what we know. But if this goes longer, then there is less you can do and the impact is going to be greater. So it's about how good those politicians and everybody in power can be in order to prepare for a new system. And we have to prepare ourselves too. And that goes down back to like our choices. If you see like from AIDS, H1N1, the swine flu that I just showed you, and many others, SARS, the mad cow disease, it's all stuff that we have created because of our mishandling of animals and the way we consume and the way we produce in our industrial complex. So it's undeniable right now that we have a say in this, that we have a hand directly in creating the circumstances that we all affected now. We are all affected and we are experiencing it, and we are losing a lot of loved ones because of it. And this perhaps could have been avoided. Like again, I'm not trying to politicize anything, going vegan or vegetarian, but just when we go back, truly, when we go back, we have to start to think a little bit more carefully of what we do. We really have to, because the next wave, this could get worse, but the next wave could be even worse, and it's on us. It's on us, and we gotta do something. We gotta try something. We gotta try something to take a little bit more responsibilities, all of us together, and show how good we can be in this moment of crisis, instead of turning the face and just believe like, I don't give a shit, I just won't have this rib on the grill, and I won't have another 3 tomorrow, or consuming recklessly. We have to look ourselves in the mirror, and we have to make better decisions. We could have avoided this. I really believe that we could have avoided this. So many people have died of man-made diseases because of our way of not caring about the environment. And it really breaks my heart thinking of those 47,279 deaths, which they had to go through this, and a lot of other people affected by their deaths because of our greed. So I truly wish you health, prosperity, and love, and let's show each other what we can do, how good we can be in this moment of crisis and also after.